He's trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be
Floyd Mayweather recently visited Shakur Stevenson's training camp ahead of his fight with Teofimo Lopez, praising Shakur as the best fighter in his weight class and promising to share his knowledge to help him sharpen his skills, improve even further, and reach new heights in his boxing career.
Most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want and make the fights happen.
Shakur Stevenson is locked in at training camp ahead of his fight with Teofimo Lopez, grinding through every aspect of his game by sharpening his speed, footwork, and defense while refining combinations and ring strategy. With each intense session pushing his limits, building endurance, and showing the focus, discipline, and commitment that signal he's fully prepared to dominate on fight night.
Well, my wife, you just sleep yet? And next thing you know, if you wake up, you know, this thing with
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like, I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th.
Shakur Stevenson is driven to prove himself to anyone who still doubts him, using every fight as a chance to silence critics and remind fans that despite everything he's achieved, he belongs among boxing's elite.
Their opinion, like, you know, they could say that, but I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terrence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terrence?
I'm not gonna say he's on a Terrence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems like. I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him, but I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager.
On the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur, Stevenson spoke confidently about his upcoming fight with Teofimo Lopez, saying Lopez has never faced anyone at his level and will be tested in ways he's never experienced before, adding that while he respects Lopez's skills, he doesn't see him on the level of elite fighters like Terence Crawford, who he believes would overpower him. And Shakur also addressed his promotional situation by explaining that, although he once considered moving on from Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's involvement now ensures strong backing and organization for this major fight, showing just how seriously he's taking both the preparation and business sides of his career.
He was going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like, Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only time.
Analysts see a key issue for Teofimo Lopez in his struggle against constant movement, because while he's explosive and dangerous on his terms, he often has trouble adjusting to fluid opponents, which plays directly into Shakur Stevenson's strengths, as his footwork, timing, and defensive awareness allow him to control range, shift angles, and disrupt rhythm. And as Bruce Carrington points out, this could neutralize Lopez's bursts and leave him open to clean counters. Meaning, unless Lopez adapts and fights with patience, Stevenson's technical skill is likely to dictate the pace.
Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring, but I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". These are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark, standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was
Another perspective highlights that. Teofimo Lopez performs best against elite competition, forced to use every ounce of reflexes, timing, and ring intelligence, making this fight as much a test of mental acuity as physical power. But analysts warn he must stay disciplined, manage aggression, and avoid predictable patterns that Shakur Stevenson can exploit. While Stevenson's speed adds another layer of danger, as his punches arrive faster than many can perceive, landing clean, decisive shots that disrupt timing and control the pace, giving him a tactical edge and allowing him to punish mistakes, making this matchup a classic battle of raw talent versus tactical mastery.
Pick them apart. And I gotta tell everybody this, that Whichcomb is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all that. Nah. Teofimo can punch and he can box. And like I said, he's real athletic. So, you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right? How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, they got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like Boots, he box heavyweights and put heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then all according how Teo come in. If Teo come at him, he's gonna run into some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now, you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just like I said, speed is power. Not them guys, muscle bound guys come in and they tell me, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact, the punch that you don't see knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about. I mean, then you got to look at this.
Usinas issues a strong warning to Teofimo Lopez, emphasizing that Shakur Stevenson should never be underestimated. Because his speed isn't just quickness, it's a weapon. Punches landing faster than opponents can see, giving him a natural advantage in timing and precision.
Occasion be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But Teo says a lot of crazy things that a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he showed him that his levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur is at. I think this is a great fight. I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's gonna be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm gonna say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's gonna happen is gonna become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm gonna go with Shakur on this one. But you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war. And I think Shakur, he's starting to, get fights that are kind of setting him up for these mega fights, and he'll be.
And even seemingly minor shots can hit hard, meaning underestimating Stevenson's combination of speed, skill, and intelligence could be a costly mistake, making him a uniquely dangerous opponent in the ring.
It ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? What can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is. Young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters. Okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound that you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth. That it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are. Or I should say good they are. They still got to prove they great, right? But, look, the thing that surprised me about T.O. last night after watching him, man, is that his speed and quickness and how fast he's able to strike. Look, I'm going to tell you where he's going. Because I watched a little.
Shakur Stevenson's sense of accountability sets him apart as he approaches every training session and fight with discipline, knowing that every decision, movement, and adjustment can affect the outcome. And he takes full responsibility for his performance, preparing meticulously both physically and mentally to execute his game plan under pressure.